Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. One of my favorite times of the year, it is transfer portal season. The guys that go in, the guys that come out. You know, we talked yesterday on the morning show how much these college football coaches have to work, not only recruiting kids out of high school, recruiting kids out of JUCO college, recruiting kids out of the transfer portal. They also have to recruit their own team. They got to keep these guys happy. They got to keep them satisfied. Look, I know some people love it, some people hate it, but it is the reality of college football in 2023. And what I try to do right here on the Talkin VAWLS Network is keep you guys up to date with the guys that Tennessee is realistically targeting in the portal. Not just every time you see a name pop up, oh, that's a guy we're going to talk about, but guys that actually Tennessee has interest in. And I actually mentioned one of those guys in a video last week talking about Texas A&M. Jimbo Fisher gets fired. That is the prime time where you're going to see guys start to flood into the portal. One of the guys I mentioned was wide receiver Raymond Catrell. Now you can see here the tweet from Hayes Fawcett. Tennessee is one of the football teams that has tried to target the former four-star wide receiver, 6'3", 210 pounds, has 4 years of eligibility left, but you can see all the teams there on the screen that have targeted the wide receiver. Tennessee is interested, so does he have interest in Tennessee? What would he bring to the table? What this tells me first and foremost is that Tennessee feels like they need help in that wide receiver room. We're going to get into it and we're going to talk about it, but as always, do me a favor, smash the thumbs up just below this video. It is quick, free, and easy. It helps the channel, and I would greatly appreciate it. Also, if you're new to the Talkin VAWLS Network, welcome. We're not experts. We're not insiders. We're not media. We don't talk at you here. We talk with you. This channel is for the fans, by the fans. We are building the strongest community of Tennessee fans right here on the Talkin VAWLS Network. If you want to be a part of that, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Click that bell for notifications. You won't miss out when we go live or when we drop a video. Going to be live tonight, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. It's NCAA night. We play a little college football on the old Xbox, but we also talk all things Tennessee football, so come hang out for that. Tomorrow, Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time, we'll be live again doing our official predictions for Tennessee versus Vanderbilt as we start to break that game down. But let's talk about it again. Raymond Catrell, former four-star, right now 247 Sports, has him as the #1 overall player in the transfer portal that is there and available that you can go after, you can target. And again, I'll start with what that tells me is this coaching staff, they feel they need some depth at the wide receiver position. Look, this football team is banged up, right? And that's part of the game. That's part of playing college football. It's part of being in the SEC. It is what it is. I like that Josh Heupel kind of takes ownership. He doesn't use that as an excuse. I watched the post-game press conference yesterday in the morning show, and they were giving him every opportunity to use that as an excuse. Josh Heupel would not do it. He kept going back to this football game doesn't care. The game doesn't care if you're hurt, if you're banged up, if you're injured, but that's the reality of the situation. This team is banged up, and you look at the roster, the guys that could potentially return next year. Of course, the only one that has a year of COVID eligibility left is Bru McCoy, so that'll be a big-time decision for him. How does he bounce back? How does he respond? Is he healthy? Does he get a good draft grade where he's just off to the NFL? So we'll have to keep an eye on Bru McCoy, kind of see what he does. Obviously, Squirrel White's going to be back going into his junior year. Dontae Thornton is a guy that we thought was going to come in and ball out. He was a guy that, we were kind of hoping would come in and be a one and done and be off to the NFL and show that this coaching staff can develop wide receivers, but it kind of took a little bit more time than we thought. We saw once they moved Thornton to the outside, we kind of saw what his potential could be before, again, goes down hurt. So Thornton, Bru McCoy, both hurt, but Dontae Thornton will have the opportunity to come back next year. So what does that wide receiver room look like? What do your starters look like? Is it Thornton and Bru McCoy on the outside and Squirrel White in the slot? You've also seen some young guys get some run, and Caleb Webb, Chaz Nimrod, a couple of guys that have shined at times and kind of shown you what can be there for you next year. You've also got a pretty good, highly ranked prospect, Nathan Laycock, that's committed, a true freshman. We've not seen much of him. I know he did play a few snaps in the Connecticut game, but he'll be a redshirt freshman going into next year. Also a guy that we haven't really talked about, Nate Spillman, another freshman prospect. But based on the coaching staff targeting Raymond Catrell, I think there is obviously some interest there. So let's talk about what he would bring to the table. And first of all, is there some legitimate interest in here? Again, that's showing that Tennessee has contacted the former four-star wide receiver. You can see there on the screen, #1 ranked player in the portal, top-ranked wide receiver in the portal. Coming out of high school, he was a four-star prospect. On 3 has him ranked as a top 250 prospect. You can see there 247 Sports had him as a top 40 wide receiver, comes in at 39th. Now, Tennessee actually offered him coming out of high school Going all the way back to 2019, Jeremy Pruitt offered him in 2019. This current staff, Josh Heupel, his coaching staff, re-offered in 2021. Now, he camped with Tennessee in June of 2021. Also camped with Florida State. He camped with the Gators. Took some official visits, took some unofficial visits to Florida State. Looks like he had actually committed to the Florida Gators back in July of 2021 before decommitting and ultimately took the official visit to Texas A&M in June of 2022. He commits in January of 2023. So when you look at what Raymond Catrell has coming out of high school, 4-star wide receiver by ESPN, 247 Sports, and Rivals, he totaled 651 yards with 46 catches and 9 touchdowns as a high school senior. Two-way player. As a junior, he had 63 catches, 985 yards. As a freshman at Texas A&M, he saw the field in the season-opening win against New Mexico. Also got his first career touchdown with a 13-yard score over ULM and had offensive snaps in the win against Arkansas. So, again, that red shirt is available. He's going to be going into the portal. He has 4 years of eligibility left. Now, the scouting report coming out of high school for Raymond Catrell, scouting report here from Andrew Ivins. This is 247 Sports. Says a big framed pass catcher that can create some separation. No verified measurements available. Now, if you go look at the roster, you go look where he's at now, it's got him listed as 6'3", 215, so that would be verified. This is coming out of high school. Says uses extra weight to pick up chunks of yardage after the catch on Friday nights, as well as a stiff arm that he will drop on would-be tacklers or try to run right through them. I like the physicality. Watching the tape, he's big, physical. He'll use his body to kind of block guys out, kind of similar to Brew McCoy. Could he be that big, physical, outside wide receiver that this coaching staff likes to use on the perimeter? Says pretty technically sound as a route runner, appears to be a natural ball catcher, which is always encouraging. Shouldn't exactly be viewed as a burner, but has shown that he can find an extra gear and has gone as low as 11.13 in the 100-meter dash. Spent much of his junior season lined up on the outside, but was utilized here and there as a Wildcat quarterback. Ended up finishing the year with 1,428 yards of offense. 985 receiving, 311 rushing, 132 passing, 17 total touchdowns, 8 receiving, 7 rushing, 2 passing. Says he's also got some snap on defense. Said older for his grade and will turn 20 his freshman year of college, which means there might be a ton of growth potential. However, some required tools to make an impact on Saturdays at the school of his choice will likely have a chance to avoid a red shirt if he embraces the idea of trying to earn his stripes on special teams. Should thrive in a modern pro-style attack that places an emphasis on timing. Well, this offense places an emphasis on timing with their option routes and decision-making. But again, Raymond Catrell into the transfer portal. We're going to continue to see guys enter the transfer portal. But again, I wanted to talk about it, wanted to cover it. Obviously, there is some interest from Tennessee there. What do you guys think? Jump into the comment section. Let me know your thoughts on him as a prospect. Again, right now it's early. A lot of guys are going to the portal, but right now Raymond Catrell is the number 1 ranked player in the portal. Tennessee targeting. Do you think what are your needs? What do you think the primary needs are? For me, I know the offensive line, right? We got to have help on that offensive line. But again, it's going to be so interesting to see how Josh Heupel recruits his roster. Because Brew McCoy being the only wide receiver that has that COVID year available, you look at the offensive line, there's a lot of guys there that you could try to convince to come back. John Campbell, Cooper Mays, Javonte Spraggins, Gerald Mincey, Dane Davis, Jackson Lampley all have an extra COVID year of eligibility. So it's going to be interesting to see how Heupel recruits his guys first before you move into the portal. But what are your primary targets? Mine would be offensive line and interior defensive linemen. I think Keenan Peely is going to be a key too. I think you're going to try to get Keenan Peely back for another year with a medical waiver, but we will see how that plays out. But I want you guys to let me know what your priorities are in the transfer portal. And as always, do me a favor and smash the thumbs up on the way out the door. You can go check out the merchandise. Check out the new Colt of 8. Colt of 8. This Colt has been divided. If you're rocking with 8, you can check out that Colt of 8 shirt. Also, the old favorites, Talkin VAWLS letter-themed shirts. Everything is there at bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. The link is also in the description below. I want to give a thank you to the members of the channel. You guys are what give me the opportunity to do this full-time, particularly as we move into the off-season. So if you like the content, the live streams, the videos, whatever it is you enjoy about this channel, do me a favor and hit that join button down below. Keep us supported throughout the off-season. We would greatly appreciate it. We're going to continue to do live streams covering recruiting, covering the transfer portal, covering the off-season. We'll do some watch parties for baseball and basketball, so all kinds of fun stuff coming up throughout the off-season. Don't go anywhere. We got you covered right here on the Talkin VAWLS Network as we are on that track to 25,000 subscribers. But that is going to do it for this one. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.